Hello everyone, welcome to IAS with Arihant. Student, as you know, every day at 9 p.m. we are discussing about the Indian polity, and basically this series is called as Prelims Possible series, and it is going to help you for your prelims examination, and that's it is called as Prelims Possible series, students. Okay, so those who are preparing for any state PSC examination as well as the UPSC examination, so this session is going to be 100% beneficial for you students. So you must stay in the session, as well as those who are very new to this channel, please subscribe the channel as well as press the bell icon for your regular updates, students. Okay, so we are going to start the session without wasting time, students. Okay, as you see, basically this book, this series is based on a book that is called as Prelims Possible, and it is exclusively created by Arihant. And what is the motto of this book, students? Basically this book contains lots of information, and there is lots of feature. I'm going to discuss that also. It is going to help you a lot. Okay, so this book is divided into chapters, as well as the chapter is divided into topic. Okay, and there's a very detailed explanation for each and every topic and the question, and there's a topical mind map also. There's a 100% error-free explanation, a very detailed explanation, students. Along with that, students will get the knowledge plus for the typical questions and 3500 plus PYQ bullets in the last, students. Okay, so this book is going to help you a lot. You must go with the book, and we are going to start the today's topic, or you can see the chapter, that is feature of the Indian Constitution, students. Feature of Indian Constitution. Now, as you know, we already discussed about how the Constitution was created, what was the historical background, as well as part, schedule, article based question we already discussed. Now, as our country has a constitution, and that is very beautifully arranged by our Constituent Assembly, and they basically this constitution was adopted on 26th of November 1949, students. It was fully implemented on 26th of January 1950. If we talk about our constitution, students, the process of making of Indian Constitution was started on 9th of December 1946, and if you see here, what you find, it took 2 years, 11 months and 18 days in the making of Indian Constitution, students. Okay, another very important point about the Indian Constitution, it is the world lengthiest constitution. As you know, it has 395 articles. Okay, it has 12 schedule. Okay, along with that, initially 22 parts, but few sub part is added, so it is now 25 part also. So it is the world lengthiest constitution, as well as it is a written constitution. So I'm going to discuss these type of feature here. Okay, so you have to listen carefully. After that, we are going to start with the MCQs, students. Okay, the features are very easy, and this mind map is going to help you a lot for your examination. So listen carefully, think carefully, and it is going to help you a lot. Okay, so I'm going to start from here only. As you know, students, our constitution is the world lengthiest written constitution, and lengthiest written constitution of the world. If you want to add few feature, it has 395 articles. Okay, it has 22 parts, and it has 12 schedule. But if after adding some amendments, students, there is an article 368 of Indian Constitution that is mentioning about the amendment in the Indian Constitution, students. Okay, amendment is also possible in Indian Constitution, and till the time, students, 105 Constitutional Amendment Act took place in our Indian Constitution, students, and so that's why by adding few sub articles, the number rise to 470 plus articles. The part is now 25, and if we talk about the schedule, it is 12. Initially it was 8. Okay, so it's make our constitution is the lengthiest constitution. After that, there is a rule of law. Everyone will be equal in the eyes of law, but there are few exceptions like governor, president. Okay, so but you have to know keep equality before law is prevail in Indian Constitution as well as in India, students. We have a concept of single citizenship. What is single citizenship, students? As you know, our structure is unitary. Okay, we are going to discuss about what is unitary, what is federal in the same feature series, students. What you find, we have a nation, means we are a union, but as you know, union created some state like Bihar, Jharkhand, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and so we are following the federalism structure also. We have state as well as we have nation. So this is structure where nation has separate power, state has separate power. So this type of structure is basically called as federal structure. We are following the federal structure, but we are union. Okay, means we have unitary concept. Okay, so what you find, students, if we talk about US is a two federal state. Okay, and what you see, there is a separate constitution for nation as well as there is a provision also given to state, and they can make their own laws. Okay, but in India we are union, and union created a state for the better administration. And what you find, students, in US there is a dual citizen, or you can say double citizenship. One citizenship you will get for the nation and another from which state you are belonging. But in India, what you see, students, as we are a union, so a single citizenship we give, and this concept is derived from UK, students. Okay, so two system of governance in the form of center and state, but we have a single citizenship because we following the unitary concept, students. Our judiciary is independent and integrated. What is integrated judiciary here? As you know, students, let's suppose you committed any crime, or maybe you have a case that is maybe civil case or criminal case. So first you go for the lower court, and if you are not satisfied with the judgment or verdict of the lower court, then you can move to the high court. Okay, and if you are also not satisfied with the judgment of high court, then you can go for the Supreme Court. What it represent? It represent that our judiciary is integrated. Okay, and Supreme Court is the highest law authority of India, students. Okay, so this is about the integration. Okay, this concept we derive from UK. As well as our judiciary is independent, means executive cannot interfere in the judgment or the judicial activity, students, and this is the feature of the federalism also. Okay, getting it? Easy, everyone? My voice is okay? Okay, if you feel doubt, if you feel difficulties, you all are free to ask any question. Okay, I hope everything is okay, students. Okay, now if you move further, our constitution contains fundamental right under part 3 of Indian Constitution and fundamental duties under part 4A of Indian Constitution under article 51A. Okay, so we have 6 fundamental right, 11 fundamental duties, as well as fundamental right is justiciable in nature, and this fundamental right we derive from US Constitution. Okay, and this DPSP directive this fundamental duties we derive from the USSR, means that is Russia. Okay, so what you find, students, this fundamental right is justiciable, and let's suppose your fundamental right is taken by any authority, then you can move to Supreme Court in the protection of fundamental rights, students. And what is the motto by this fundamental right and fundamental duties? To promote the political democracy in India, students. Okay, then we have independent bodies. Independent bodies means executive can't control them. They are the constitutional body. Constitution provide them special power like election commission, like comptroller and auditor general of India. If you want, I can explain their work also. Election commission is a body that is going to conduct the election for member of parliament, member of legislative assembly of state, along with that president and vice president. So it is an independent body, so no one can tackle trick with them, as well as it is they have power from directly from the Constitution of India. Okay, comptroller and auditor general of India, they are mentioned under article 148 of Indian Constitution, and what they are discussing and what they are doing, basically they are controlling the funds. Okay, so how much taxes received by the government and how and where they spend it, they are basically doing audit for the same students. And then we have a body that is called as Union Public Service Commission, UPSC, and UPSC is mentioned under part 14 of Indian Constitution, students, under article 315 to 323. Okay, so UPSC is basically it is also a constitutional body, and what they are doing, they are conducting the examination for the central services and gazetted post, as well as the foreign services also. As you all preparing for the state PSC or UPSC, so that will be the part of the UPSC students. Now federalism. So as you know ki we are following the federalism concept, but we are unitary. So distribution of power between center and state, and there is a very important schedule, students. Schedule number 7 of Indian Constitution is about the federal structure. Okay, and then if you move further, we have the parliamentary form of government, and from where we derive this from the UK. Okay, so parliamentary form of government, not presidential form of government. So parliamentary form of government has a few features, like the responsibility of executive towards the legislature. Means, as you know students, ki we have two body. As you know ki we have Lok Sabha, we have Rajya Sabha, and Lok Sabha is a body that is directly elected by the people. Okay, and from here the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, Council of Ministers is going to be chosen. Okay, and they will be directly responsible towards Lok Sabha, and this Lok Sabha, as you know ki this body is chosen by people, so that's it is called as House of People, and that's why Council of Ministers is directly responsible towards the House of People, and that House of People is responsible towards the Indian people, students. Okay, so executive is responsible towards legislature, and legislature with the two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and there is a two type of executive head. One is nominee or nominated, another is real executive head. So nominated is basically president, because direct election is not there. But if we talk about USA students, in US there is a separate election for the president. Okay, so presidential form of government found in USA, but we just adopted this post from the USA students. Got it? Now there is a very unique feature for the welfare of the people, as well as there is some direction given to the government or the ruling parties, and that is called as directive principle of state policy. So in our Indian Constitution, student, there is a direction given to the state ki, let's suppose they are going to create any law, so in what direction they must create law. Okay, getting it? So to promote the social and economical democracy, and it is not justicable. Means, let's suppose someone not following direction given under the DPSP students, so you can't go to court, but for the fundamental right you can go to court directly. Okay, there is a three tier of government, local government also included, like from the central government, state government, local government is also there. So three type of government is there, students. Secular state means in our country every religion is considered as equal. Okay, so state has no very specific religion, so we are a secular country, students. Our constitution is rigid as well as flexible. We are not rigid, complete rigid like in USA. We are not totally flexible like in UK. So we are somewhere in between the rigid and flexible constitution. Okay, so we have some feature where very strong, or you can say difficult majority required, and some concept or some places are there where there is a flexibility is also included, students. Okay, then our country is sovereign nation, students. Sovereign is basically here. Basically, our country is independent. Okay, no external power or forces can interfere in our internal matter. Okay, till we don't want. Okay, our country is democratic and republic by the constitution. As you know, students, our head of the nation, that is president, is elected basically, not like in Britain or UK there is a monarch, means there will be a king, and monarchy is a place where hereditary position followed, but republic countries are those where head of the nation is going to be elected, students. We have a very basic and very unique feature, universal adult franchise. Every person who is 18 plus, he or she is eligible to vote. Okay, so this is also important. Okay, now synthesis of parliamentary sovereignty and judicial supremacy, students. Okay, so constitution harmonies both parliamentary sovereignty and American judicial supremacy. So as you know, from America we got the judicial review concept, as well as parliament has right to create any law. Okay, our constitution contain emergency provision. Let's suppose sometime any problem arises, and to stop that chaos, to control in a better way, okay, there is a provision for emergency, and this is mentioned under part 18 of Indian Constitution, and it is mentioned under article 352, 356 and 360 students. We have three type of emergency: national emergency, state emergency, it is called as president rule, as well as financial emergency. So till the time financial emergency not included in, means imposed in India, but yes, national emergency imposed 3 times, and it is declared by the President of India when the cabinet minister going to give a letter to the President of India. Students, getting it? Easy everyone? Anybody have any doubt? Okay, if you have doubt you can share with me. Then students, our country is a socialist on the basis of constitution, and we are the socialist state students, means where the government trying to do the welfare, as well as they are trying to create a welfare state, means everyone must get the benefit. Okay, everyone must feel that they are in a right environment. Okay, a right environment means everyone feel equality, there is no discrimination. Okay, as well as governance system in India, that is also very unique. We means consist of judiciary at the top, independent judiciary in India. Executive will be consisted of executive in the union. Executive of union students basically consist of article 52 to 78, and that is about the president, vice president, council of minister, prime minister, and along with that attorney general of India. These all will be the part of union executive students. So that is also important, just try to remember for the same. Now this is about the mind map of this chapter, students, and now we are going to start the MCQs. And first question on your screen, and that is belonging to UPPSC 2017 paper, and this question is very unique, and this will give you idea of our state. Now many of the time you think, sir, what is nation, what is country, what is state? So we will go with the MCQ format, and as I already told you, this book contains lots of information. It is going to give you the variety and diversity of questions, students, that was asked by the different state PSC as well as the UPSC students. So you must go with the book, it will be helpful for you. I know that sometime you may face issues, but if you all are free to ask any question with me. Okay, so if you have doubt, just discuss with me now, otherwise we are moving further. Just tell me, students. Easy? So just choose the right answer, and if you watching this session in recorded format, now this is also your duty, you must answer the question. Okay, you must answer the question, students. Okay, so if we talk about state, means if we talk about any country, so what you find, students, at that time you need a population, a territory, a government, as well as if these three are available, then you need sovereignty to take the decisions. Flag, capital, head of the state, these all required, but they are it is the important element but not the prominent. So if you talk about the state is basically formed with the four things. If you want to create any territory, so first what you required a territory. So we have a very well defined territory, that is territory of India. Okay, our first part of Indian Constitution is mentioning about the union and its territory. So we have a very prominent boundary, students. Okay, after that, in this boundary we have some population, and that population is ruled by some government. Okay, so basically these are the three prominent element to become a state, that is given by different Aristotle, means there is different political thinkers, they given the different ideas, but these are the three primary thing. Okay, but if you want to be a complete state, at that time your territory must be secured, means you are free to take your decision. That then you are going to be a state students. So sovereignty is also a included feature of the state students. So what you find, you require a territory, you require a population, you require a government, as well as including that you need sovereignty to rule. Okay, so sovereignty is also the important element of the state students. So this is going to be important, okay, for your coming examination. So be very careful, and we just added explanation also. So let me explain this here. If you see, sovereignty is the most prominent element of a state. The state has four essential elements, that is population required where you are going to rule, territory, along with that government, and sovereignty. So these are the four important elements for a state students. And if we talk about sovereignty, is the full right and power of a governing body over itself without any interference from outside sources or bodies. So what it means? It means that student, let's suppose this is your territory and few people are living in your territory, means that population, and if it is not free, means if there is a government and that government is controlled by outside, it means that you are not sovereign. At that time you are failed to be a independent state. Okay, so that's why sovereignty is also part of the state students. And what is the meaning of sovereignty? You are free to take your decision what you want within your territory. Okay, so no outside interference will be there, or anybody is going to interfere in your matter. So without sovereignty, the state is missing its actual power to express and carry out its will over the people and the association existing in the state students. It is essential to provide good governance to people and look after their welfare, students. Getting it? Easy? Okay, everyone? Okay, so I hope the things going well. If you feel doubt, just tell me. Okay, everyone? Great. Now we're moving further to the next question. Now, what is the main source of political power in India, students? The people, the constitution, the parliament, and the president. It is in the basically Uttarakhand paper pre-2007. So if we talk about the political power, students, let's suppose if we are going to talk about any political position, so they are chosen by people of India, and the students, our constitution is also created by people of India. So who is going to be the supreme power? The people. But if we talk about these political power are means they are getting power from the constitution. So don't get means it is about the political power. Okay, so our country run by constitution, but political power is provided by the people of India. Okay, so here explanation you will get. The people are the main source of the political power in India. India is a democratic country, which means that they have the power to choose their representative through election. Hence, the political leaders and executive drives their power from the or through the people of India, students. So very simple and easy concept you will get here. Okay, just try to remember for the same students. If we move further, we have the third question that was belonging to UP Lower 2015. Which one of the following is not the philosophy of the Constitution of India? Not the philosophy of the Constitution of India. Welfare state, socialist state, political equality, or communist state. Which of the following is not a philosophy of Indian Constitution? What is philosophy here? Basically what our constitution maker want to make India. Okay, so what is our nature of Indian Constitution? So as you know, students, our constitution is discussing about the welfare state. It is about the socialist state, as well as there is a political equality. So the person who is means 18 plus, they all eligible to vote without any discrimination based on the caste, sex, religion, creed, and okay, so these things are there. So there is a political equality. See, communist state is not our constitution is mentioning, so automatically communist ideology, communist philosophy is not included in the Constitution of India, students. Okay, so communist state is not the philosophy of the Constitution of India, and India is a socialist state. Indian style of socialism is a democratic socialism where both public and private basically enterprises function towards the socialist goals, students. Getting it? Simple. It is very simple. Now we are moving further to the next question. How is our Indian Constitution, students? It is rigid. Is it flexible? It is neither rigid nor flexible, partially rigid, partially flexible. It is belonging to the UPPSC Mains 2012 question. Now we are going to discuss one very important thing, students. If we talk about Indian Constitution, as you know, there is a very important article number 368, and it is mentioned under part number 20 of Indian Constitution, students. And this concept we derive from South Africa. Constitution amendment concept. Okay, so under 368, students, they mention that Parliament has right to amend the Indian Constitution, and but this amendment is not very easy. For amendment we require majority. Okay, so in there's a different type of majority. Somewhere simple majority required. Okay, in simple majority 50% of present and voting. Very simple. After that, at some places you required basically special majority. Okay, some places you required effective majority, some places you required absolute majority. Okay, so there's a different type of majority required for the any type of changes in our Indian Constitution. Okay, so this is for these different specific provision, students. So our Constitution has both type of feature, rigid feature from USA, as well as we have the flexible feature also, but it is not partially. We are not totally rigid, we are not totally flexible. It is depend on which provision we want to modify. Let's suppose, students, we want to modify a name of a state, so it is a simple majority required. But let's suppose we are going to change the procedure for the election of president, student, and in that case you required a special majority. Okay, so this is created to make more responsibility. Okay, so this is one thing. So Constitution is going to be very supreme in this. So our Constitution is neither flexible nor rigid, students. Okay, so the Constitution of India is neither rigid nor flexible, but a synthesis of both. Some provision of the Indian Constitution can only be amended through a complex and rigid procedure, while other provision of the Indian Constitution can be amended by simple majority of the Parliament. So it is going to be flexible. Okay, so just try to remember for the same, students. Okay, if we move further, if we discuss about the fifth question. Now, the following statement about the Indian Constitution was given by whom? Okay, so the Indian Constitution strike a fine balance between being more rigid or more flexible. Okay, so there is a statement. It is said by whom? It is B.R. Ambedkar, sir. It is basically Alexandrovich. It is M.V. Pyali or K.C. Were. So who said this? Okay, so see, I recommend you one thing. Just make a notes for the same, students, because there are lots of political thinkers, there are lots of constitutional researchers who comment over the Indian Constitution. In that case, you need to know what they said. Okay, so that's why you must go with these concepts also. So it is going to help you a lot. Okay, so who said this? It is basically K.C. Were. He stated that Indian Constitution strikes a very fine balance between being more rigid and more flexible. Okay, so it depends on the situation. So the mentioned statement in question was given by K.C. Vere. K.C. Vere considered the Indian Constitution a quasi-federal, means federal setup where despite having two clear set of government, central and state, more power are given to the central government students. Okay, so he mentioned comment over the quasi-federal structure also. If we talk about the sixth question, in Indian polity students, which one is supreme? This is in the Bihar PSC means 2002, UPPSC means 2013. Now, who is supreme? The Supreme Court, the Constitution, the Parliament, or the religion? Which is supreme body in India, students? Which of the following is the supreme authority or supreme body in Indian Constitution? You have to choose the right answer. A student, as you know, if we talk about, let's suppose, Supreme Court and Parliament and Constitution. So see, basically Supreme Court is powerful, but Supreme Court getting power from Constitution. Parliament can do anything, but they can do in the limitation of Constitution giving them power. So indirectly, who is going to be more supreme, students? The Constitution of India is the more supreme authority in the India, students. So this is also very important. Religion is not going to be the supreme authority, because as we are a secular country, it is mentioned in the Constitution of India. So yes, Constitution is also mentioning that we are secular, we are not extreme. Okay, getting it? So in Indian polity, the Constitution is supreme because all the other power are derived from the Constitution of India. Okay, it is the fundamental for the governance of India, students. Getting it? Now, this question is belonging to the UPSC pre-2021. Now, which one of the following best define the term state, students? Once again, you will find this word state at the multiple places, and once you are writing means, and at that time also, students, what you find, they are asking about the state. What is a state? Okay, that is a direct question that was asked by UPSC previously in the optional political science also, okay, and in other paper also. So just opt the right answer. I am just reading this statement what this question said, and I want a very right answer from your side, students. I am reading it. So statement A says that a community of person permanently occupying a definite territory, independent of external control and possessing a organized government. Okay, so a community of person means they are talking about the population. Okay, permanently occupying a definite territory. Okay, and that is independent of external control means sovereign. Okay, as well as possessing an organized government. So these all four features what we required for a state. We already know we required a territory, we required a population, we required government, as well as we need sovereignty. So these are four features. If we read second statement, a politically organized people of a definite or definite territory, possessing an authority to govern them, maintaining law and order, protect their natural right and safeguard their means of substances. Okay, C statement says that a number of persons who have been living in a definite territory for a very long time with their own culture, tradition and government. And D says that a society permanently living in a definite territory with the central authority and executive responsible toward the central authority and independent judiciary. So we need to check these four elements must present in the statement, students, and statement A will be more correct for the same. Okay, I hope you all getting it. Hello Shantne, getting it? Now we are just going to see the explanation as statement A define best the state word. State means the community of a person permanently occupying in a definite territory, independent of external control and possessing an organized government. So it has all feature. It has population, it has territory, it has external means it is sovereignty as well as organized government students. So the basic element of the state includes people, government, territory and sovereignty. A state is characterized by the presence of a governing body with the power to enforce a set of rules within its territory, typically consisting of constitution, statutes, regulation and common law students. Getting it? If you feel any difficulties, I told you multiple times, you all are free to ask any question. Okay, now once again we're moving further. We have the 8th question. The state is everywhere, it leaves hardly a gap. This statement explains the concept of what? It is about the welfare state, it is about the communist state, it is about the democratic state, or it is about the police state. Jammu Kashmir PSC, okay, and this question belonging to 2016 pre-paper. So just opt the right answer, students. So state is everywhere, it leave hardly a gap, and what it is going to be the welfare state. Means everyone is going to be equal, okay, and basically state trying to make everyone equal students, and those who are backward, state trying to bring them forward. Okay, so the given statement explain the concept of welfare state. The welfare is a state is a concept of government in which the state plays a key role in the protection and promotion of the economies and the social well-being of the citizens. Okay, in this context, Indian Constitution imbibes the concept of welfare state, which can be depicted in the form of fundamental right and other as directive principle of state policy, that is DPSP, students. Getting it? Now we are moving further, and this question is belonging to the UPSC IAS pre-paper 2009. There is a question, welfare state aims to. In Hindi, welfare is basically kalyankari. Okay, so what is welfare state aims? Secure maximum welfare to the maximum numbers, management of the welfare of weaker section, provide health facilities, or none of the above. You have to choose the right answer according to the statement, students. Just choose the right answer. Okay, so welfare state, basically what it is securing maximum welfare of maximum number students, means they trying to provide benefit to the maximum people of their state. Okay, so we are going to see the explanation part also, and there is a knowledge plus. As I already told you, this book contains lots of feature, and this feature is also going to help you a lot. So knowledge plus as well as this explanation going to help you in means writing portion, students. And this book contains a very specific tagline: this series take you to the stage of the means. Okay, so it is going to help you. You must go with the book. Okay, so I'm just going to read the explanation with clarity, and if you feel doubt, just write in the comment box. Okay, so welfare state aim to secure maximum welfare of maximum number living within its territory. State has a positive duty to ensure to its citizens social and economic justice and the dignity to the individual students. Okay, getting it? Easy. What about the knowledge plus here? India is referred to as a welfare state because here governance model in which the state plays significant role in the preservation and promotion of its resident economic and social well-being. So the idea of equality of opportunity and equitable wealth distribution support of welfare state students. Okay, so basically state is going to protect the weaker section, okay, backward section. Okay, if we see, this question is once again belonging to the UPSC pre 2023. Which one of the following statement best reflect the chief purpose of the constitution of a country, students? Okay, it determines the objective for making of necessaries law. Okay, constitution what defines? Okay, here it enables the creation of political offices and government. It defines and limit the power of government. It secures social justice, social equality and social security, students. These all things is going to done performed by the Constitution of India, but you have to choose the best statement, students. You have to choose the best statement. So if we read it carefully, what you find, basically the Constitution defines and limit the power of government. Okay, so this is also very important for the examination. Just remember it. So what you see here, statement C says that, okay, it reflects the chief purpose of the constitution of a country to, and the primary purpose of the constitution to establish the framework for the functioning of a government and to define and the limit the power of the government, students. Once again here the knowledge plus. Okay, constitution sets out the structure of government, outlines that rights and freedom of individual, establishes the separation of power, provide a system of check and balances. It serves as supreme law of the land and provide the legal foundation for the governance of a country. While social justice, social equality, social security are important objectives, they may be addressed through the specific law and policies derived from the constitution. So very simple, just try to go with the concept, that is welfare concept. And what constitution do? Constitution defines the power for every constitutional post as well as for the government, students. Okay, these all things mentioned in our Indian constitution very explicitly. Okay, so just try to remember. Now we are moving further to the another question, and this question for the assertion and reason. Okay, so there will be two statements and you have to choose the right option. What statement suggests that assertion is here, the federation is not practical in India, federalism is not practical in India, and reason says that India is not a federal state. Now you have to choose the right answer. Code suggests that, means option A says that both A and R are true, and R is a correct explanation. Both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. A is true, R is false, A is false, and R is true. Assertion is means A means assertion and R means reason, students. What you find, students? Federalism is not practical in India. That is an assertion. Okay, and if you see, it is true. India is not a federal state, students. We are the federal. We are following the quasi-federal concept. As you know, we have a concept of union, and these union created what? These union created state. And if this union created state, we are trying to be federal. So we are federal, but we are not true federal. So India is a federal state. India following the federalism. Okay, getting it? But we are not true federal. Okay, easy. So stay, basically option C is going to be right. A is true, R is false. Okay, getting it? So if you see explanation, federalism is not practical in India. The Indian Federation is not the result of an agreement among the state like an American federation, and the state have no right to seats from the federation. Now students, what you need to understand here, as you see the USA is created by 50 states. Initially there was 13. So all state, as they all are the small units, so they come together as they are separate units. They come together and they say that let's create a union or let's create a federation where we combinedly, by doing an agreement, we will create a federation and there will be our right. Let's suppose this is a state, it has their own right. This is another state, it has their own right, and along with that there will be a common law for the country. Okay, so this type of structure where two type of rules are run, one by the nation and another by the state, or there will be a clear separation between the power of nation and state or union or state. That structure is called as true federal. So here let's suppose they want to be separate, it is not possible. But what about India? As you know, initially we are union, but we are a very huge country. So that's why the union what did? They created a state. So in India we have different from the USA. Why? USA states came together. In India, union created a state for the better administration and governance. Students getting it? So Indian federation is different. Okay, so India is a federal state. There is a division of power between center and state through the three lists, that is union list, state list and concurrent list, and this is mentioned under the 7th schedule of Indian Constitution. Okay, so they specify the power of policy making in the subject of each federal level. Students, now once again this question is belonging to UPPSC pre-2020, very recent question paper. Okay, so given below are two statements, one labeled as assertion and other as reason. So you have to find it once again. So assertion says that Indian federalism is called as quasi-federal, and reason says that India has an independent judiciary with the power of judicial review. Can you find it both are matching? No, it is not explaining this. Both statement is true, but explanation part is not okay. Okay, India is a federalism and we are quasi-federal because we are not true federal structure like USA, we are quasi-federal. Okay, and India has independent judiciary as well as we have the judicial, means our judiciary has judicial review power also. As recently you can see the Supreme Court basically put down basically electoral bond concept. So it is the judicial review power. So Supreme Court can recheck. Recently there is a JMM case where Supreme Court says that if some minister or a sitting MLA or MP, they are going to take any type of bribe, they are going to be punished. So they will not get the immunity at that place. So this is all mentioned by, means these are the power of the judicial review. Okay, so you have to choose the correct answer. So if you see, both A, assertion and reason both are true, but this is not explaining about the quasi-federal structure. So B will be same. So federal theorist named as K.C. Vere has argued that the Indian Constitution is a quasi-federal in nature. In the quasi-federal state, the distribution of power among the state government and the central government is unequal. In a country like India, the center holds greater power than the state. Now, we are moving further. India has an independent judiciary with the extensive jurisdiction over the act of legislature and executive. Judicial review can define as doctrine under the which legislative and executive action are subjected to a review by the judiciary. Students. So basically the judicial review is what, where the judiciary can recheck their judgments and all. Getting it? Easy, simple. Any difficulties, students? Any doubt, any problem, any issue? Okay, I know polity means from outside it look very easy, but in reality once you go inside the concept you will find it is little difficult. Why little difficult? Because it is totally depend on the Supreme Court judgments, and it is very dynamic subject. Maybe today I am teaching something different for one concept, tomorrow that concept is going to change, and it's totally depend on the judgment. Okay, now this question is belonging to UPPSC pre-2007. Once again there is a two statement, one will be assertion, another will be reason, and you have to choose the correct one. Okay, so assertion says that Indian constitution is a quasi-federal. Reason says that Indian constitution neither federal nor unitary. Okay, we are quasi-federal. Assertion is okay. What about the reason? Indian constitution is neither federal nor unitary, means somewhere we are federal also, somewhere we are unitary. Okay, so both A and R are true, and reason is, you can see it is explaining, yes, we are quasi-federal because we are neither true federal, we are neither true unitary. Okay, so statement 1 is going to correct for the same students. Okay, getting it? Simple hai? Okay, the 14th question, what it says that, you see here, what is the nature of the Indian constitution? And this is from the Bihar PSC. Initially in Bihar PSC there was 5 options, but now last year in 2023 it was modified. Okay, now they are also giving 4 options along with the negative marking. So what is the nature of Indian constitution? We are federal, we are unitary, we are parliamentary, federal in nature but unitary in spirit, or none of the above, or more than above, students. So you have to choose the right answer. Student, we are federal but we are not true federal. We are unitary. Okay, there is a parliamentary form of government also, but they are asking about nature of Indian constitution. So we are federal in nature but unitary in spirit. So it means union divided state for the better administration, but we will be considered as at the last we are the union students. Okay, so option D is going to be more correct and perfect answer for the same. Okay, so we just added explanation also here, that is nature of the Indian constitution is federal but unitary in spirit, students. Very good, very good. Indian Divana. Okay, your name is great, huh? Okay, so the federal feature of Indian constitution include constitutional supremacy, division of power between center and state, bicameralism, written constitution, and independent judiciary. Okay, so the unitary feature of Indian constitution include more power to the center in matter of conflict. Getting it? Okay, now APSC 2022, very recent question paper. Okay, which of the following feature of federalism is not found in Indian constitution? Federalism feature not found in Indian constitution: representation of the state, independent judiciary, division of power between union and state government, and federal judiciary. Now, which is not found in Indian constitution, and you have to choose it. Okay, court says that option A 1 and 4, option B 2 and 4, option C 2 and 4, sorry, option B 2 and 3, and D says that only 4 students. So we have representation of state in our federalism. Okay, we have basically integrated and independent judiciary. So option statement 4, if you see, so that is option D, only 4 is not found in Indian constitution, federalism feature, students. So here if you see, among the given feature, the federal judiciary is not the feature of Indian constitution. We have the representation of the state in the federalism, independence judiciary, basically division of power between union and state, and we have the single citizen concept also. Okay, India is the best example of what state? We are the federal, we are the unitary, we are the quasi-federal, or we are the quasi-unit. Mizoram PSC 2023 question paper, students, and we are already discussed KCVRA. So what he says that our structure is federal. So we are quasi-federal. We are not true federal. We are not unitary. Getting it? Easy. So same thing is here, quasi-federal, where both function or both will find federal government as well as unitary government. UPPSC means 2004 question paper, and here statements they given about the federal system in India, and you have to choose the which is correct. Okay, now the constitution introduced a federal system as the basic structure of government. There is a strong admixture of a unitary bias. Both union and state legislature are sovereign. The legislative, financial and judicial power have been divided between the union and its unit students. So read carefully and choose the right answer for the same. Court says that only one is correct. Okay. B says that 1 and 2 both correct. C says that 1, 2, 3, and D says that all of the above correct, students. Okay. Read carefully. So constitution introduced a federal system as basic structure of government. Basically our states are there, union is there. There is a strong admixture of unitary bias. Center will have more power. Both union and state legislature are sovereign. Both. So you have to choose it. Okay. And then the legislative, financial and judicial power have been divided into union and its unit. So see, it is not about the federal, means there is a question about the federal. So federalism is not here, no? So basically there is a strong admixture of unitary bias. Okay. So if you see, basically statement 1 and 2 is correct here. So federalism is a part of basic structure of the Indian Constitution which cannot be altered or destroyed through the constitutional amendment under the constituent power of the parliament without undergoing judicial review by the Supreme Court. Okay. India has a federal government, yet it is lean towards the unitary government because its element of both federal as well as unitary system. It is frequently referred to as the quasi-federal structure, students. As you know, we are unitary in concept. Okay. So this is also important for the examination, students. So just remember for the same. Statement 3 and 4 are incorrect because states are not sovereign. This is also a very important statement. States are not sovereign. They are controlled by the central. They do not have right to seat from the union. Legislative, financial and executive power are vested within the union, students. I hope you all getting it. Okay. Easy, everyone. Now we are moving further to the next question. If you feel doubt, just tell me. Now the state and the central government derive power from the Constitution of India, the President of India, the Prime Minister of India, or from the Parliament of India. MPPSC paper, UPPSC paper, you have to choose the correct one. So Constitution of India, President of India, Prime Minister of India, or Parliament of India. So from where the central government as well as the state government get the power? So as you know, students, the Constitution of India is going to be the supreme body and it is defining the power, it is limiting the government. Okay, so this is also important to understand. The state and the central government derive power from the Constitution of India. So Constitution provide provision for clear division of power between the union and the state. However, the Indian Constitution provide the union with power to exercise control over the legislation as well as administration of the state in some special circumstances, students. Getting it? So this is also important. Just try to remember for the examination. Okay. Sorry. Easy. Now let's move further to the another question, that is question number 19. Okay. Now which one of the following is not a federal feature of the Constitution of India? So we discussed a lot about the federal feature. Okay. So once again you have to choose the power sharing between center and state, fully written constitution, not a federal feature, monolithic citizenship, and independent judiciary. Monolithic citizenship is here basically single citizenship. Okay, so you have to choose the right thing. Okay, not the federal feature. So if we talk about the federal structure, as you know, there will be two type of government. Nation will be here, state will be here. There will be power separation. and this can only done with the written constitution. There is a power separation, as well as judiciary will independent. So this monolithic citizenship is not any part, means it is not going to play any part in the federal feature of the Indian Constitution, students. Getting it? So option C is going to be correct for the same. Good evening, everyone. Easy. Okay. So now we are going to discuss the explanation. The monolithic citizenship is not the feature of federal structure in the Constitution of India. A monolithic society is rigid and homogeneous and not open to new ideas. Okay, so monolithic refer to the something that is large, solid and undivided, lacking differentiation as modularity within its structure and system. Thus, the monolithic citizenship refer as single citizenship, which limit the federal structure, students. Getting it? Simple. Okay. Now we are moving further to the 20th question. Which of the following is not the feature of Indian Constitution, students? Democratic, presidential, republic or federal? Not a feature. See, whenever you read question, read very carefully, because if you are going to commit a mistake now, so definitely you are going to lose 1 marks, as let's suppose you know the right answer. Okay, and by reading wrong statement you are going to put the wrong answer, so there will be a negative marking also. So they are going to fetch more marks from your result. Okay, so that's why I recommend you multiple time read question carefully, make it your habit. Okay, so not a feature of Indian Constitution: democratic, presidential, republic or federal. So our Constitution discussing about the democratic form of government. Presidential is not here. We have what type of government? We have parliamentary form of government. Okay. Republic, we are republic, we are federal, we are not presidential. So just it is also important. Presidential system is not the feature of our Indian Constitution. It is in the USA. So the Constitution of India provides for the parliamentary form of government both at the center and in the state, students. In parliamentary form of government, the role of president or monarch is basically primarily ceremonial, and the prime minister along with the cabinet has effective power. Article 75-74 discuss with deals with the parliamentary form of government at the union level, students. Okay, so some other feature of Indian Constitution: democratic, republic, federal, social, secular. Okay, and we have the different type of concept also. Okay, basically it about the socialist, secular form of government. Okay, so this is about the today's session. We are going to continue the same topic in the tomorrow's class also, and students, this book is going to help you a lot. So stay tuned with the session every day, and this book contains lots of information, 100% error free, detailed explanation is here, knowledge plus with the typical question, PYQ bullets for the revision, free package chapter test. So there is Indian history, Indian polity, Indian geography as well as world geography, and Indian economy and general science. So this book is available for other subject also. You must go with it, and this book contains lots of information. As I am a teacher, I am teaching from last 7.5 years, and along with that I was in preparation also. I found this book is very fine, and it is going to give a very best concept for your revision as well as for your understanding. So thank you so much for joining and listening, students. We'll meet soon.